All righty. Happy Sunday, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is for you. Welcome to the shop. This is always a fun time where we get to have a little creative conversation together. What would you like to talk about? God bless you. No, I got a climbing rose bush that's kind of covered this side of my shop and in the wind. Well, it makes all sorts of rackets. So do not be alarmed. No one's trying to break into my shop. Got myself a lovely little Darjeeling tea. Hope you got something refreshing for you. Let's have a talk. Oh, so I know a few of you are aware that I have a online apprenticeship program, and so it's been fun. So, well, I mean, of course it's been fun. It's been a blast. And hey, Steven, hello, Scout, how you doing? It's good to see you again. We just wrapped things up with the tea time on the Patreon. So, as a couple of you know, I have an apprenticeship program that I'm able to train people from all around the world, and it's been great because we've been covering, tools that you need in your shop, and then how to do like a drift, how to do, drawing out steel, how to forge, all sorts of things. But now it's getting really fun because I'm able to like teach people how to forge projects. Like these lovely set of hinges. This was, I filmed this last, pardon me, backwards, this last week. The apprentice is how to forge some hinges, some like classic hinges, from 1 bar of steel. All of this, how to cut, how to forge out those tapers, how to forge those scrolls on edge, how to drift out these little holes without using a drill, all that fun stuff. So it's just been a blast, and watching them all grow and start to build clientele of their own. It's been spectacular. But I hope you're all having a tremendous, it's a little Sunday. Just giving these a little bit of oil because we can't have squeaky hinges. What if you're trying to sneak around? You know what I mean? Scissors are cool. Yeah. Old as time itself. You take a flat bar of steel, and you'll peel out, cut that with your chisel, peel it away. It's a neat thing to be able to make for a little garden gate for your home or something like that. I never would have ever thought in my life I would ever teach anything. I hated school. I hated anything to do with learning and stuff like that. So it's rad. Yeah, this one has a little, it's raw steel. Of course, it's gonna squeak. Needs just a little bit of oil. Nothing crazy. Just drop, like a drop. A drop will do it. Oh, see, now we're talking. But I hope you're having a tremendous Sunday. Let's talk. What do you guys want to talk about? I'm working on a round house with my friend. No kidding. Ooh, you get hinges for the solid oak doors. You can make yourself some. So like, I just forged these very little ones for like a little chest or something like that. But like, you can make these out of like 8-inch wide bar and make this that spans 12 feet long. It's just the bar has to be appropriate for the job. Ooh, did you see season 6 of Dragon Prince? We started it. I have not finished it yet though, so no spoilers. It's been pretty good so far. It's been pretty good. We're seeing some like, maybe some redemption stories, a little redemption arc. Maybe a villain phase. Stuff's getting a little crazy. It's the best. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I didn't see if you ran a poll. What did we name the foxes? That's right. I need to go check the tab. It's in last week's Sunday chat in the comments. We'll see. I'll tally it up after this. So if you want to race me to it, go in there and comment what you want to name the foxes. There's 2 of them. I'm imagining a male and a female. They don't let me go. You get close enough to check. I'd like to make hinges too, but trying Damascus stuff by hand. Yeah, Damascus is tough by hand. Most people do presses and auto hammers nowadays. Yeah, I used to do a lot of Damascus. But, I mean, you can make these out of Damascus. Why not? It's crazy cool. There's a house near where I live. Yeah. Little wrought iron embellishments. It's just such a cool skill to have. Like, for when I'm dealing with, teaching my clients, or sorry, teaching my students, it's not like you have to do this for a living. It's just a good skill to have for when, like, a buddy's making a cool oak door, you can make the hinges for it. Whatever, the doorknob, the latch. It's just like knowing how to do anything. It comes in handy. It really does. Rage, do you ever do sanmai or gomai? I don't, I'm unfamiliar with those things. Rage, I'm so sorry. Oh, absolutely. The one who makes English churches, you bet. Well, think about it, think about the Sistine Chapel. Like a lot of, like the church used to be such a patron for the arts, for people doing frescoes and ironwork and gold leaf, all sorts of plaster work. It's, and now it's interesting because like now the shift is we're going to start, I hope to start seeing that, the public starts supporting the arts. We'll see. Is there a practical reason to use Damascus for something besides it's pretty? It's mostly pretty. It's very cool. It's an awesome art form. You can get so many different textures out of it. Modern steels are pretty darn good, as they are. But like it's just that extra touch. It's that extra little pizzazz. It's that little bit of extra salt bay on a knife. It's art. It's a sculpture. It's a bladesmithing technique that uses 3 layers of alternating steel. Okay, Sanmai. And 5 layers Goma. Got it. Yeah. I'm not just, I used to do just 2 types of steel. I used to fold the crap out of it until I knew those layers were looking good. And I got really into Damascus steel back in the day, but it just got difficult to compete when like large, organizations were doing billets in bulk and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I'm not competing with that. So I took to big stuff and I never looked back, because I like things in 3 dimensions, things in 3 dimensions are just it's just different for me. In like scale. I love the sense of awe you can achieve just in scale. When you're looking at a 10,000 pound construction that moves effortlessly, it's pretty cool. And you know what, Kiki? Blacksmithing is amazing. It's intrinsic to humanity. Like every culture around the world has some relationship to it. They all had it, and like they all made different cool stuff. They all had different things to inspire and teach each other, from the Byzantine Empire to cool Persian lamps, to bladesmithing in Damascus, all of it. It's so cool. And when it can all come together in like this kind of modern day blacksmithing that we have today, it's just super cool. Have I ever made Damascus sculptures? I have definitely added Damascus to sculptures in Makunagane, where I'm taking like nickel and copper and folding that up and then adding it to, beautiful inlays into chairs, into sculptures and stuff. I love it as an accent piece. It's really cool, especially where people are going to touch, like on a on a knob, on a handle for like a beautiful door or something like that. Making that Damascus steel is rad. Like making something very 3-dimensional. Because knives, bladesmithing is kind of a 2-dimensional process. There are 3 dimensions, but they're very thin. I love to like dome Damascus and make it a sphere or something like that for a doorknob. It's cool stuff. Hello from Germany. That's awesome. It's it's so good to see you all as well. I had some company over and they're just cruising by. And speaking of company, Copper Dog, come here. Come say hi to the nice folks. Come here, Copper Dog. Well, and like, I mean, I think this is true about any art form. There he is, Mr. Dog. But like any art form, like the depths are truly endless, and there's just some joy to that. You know, just absolutely endless possibilities. And there's just something absolutely magic about that. Daunting, but magical. It's almost like feeling like Alice in Wonderland peering into the bottomless pit. Isn't he great? It's Mr. Copper Dog, this old shop dog, but he's a real good boy. He has a skin allergy during the summertime, so he's just like, oh God, can it end? Poor little guy. Gave him a bath, like medicated shampoo, but it takes a toll on the poor guy. Isn't he adorable? He's the best. And I saw Rage with the custom, like, member emojis they get. Copper. Such an old man. He's a good boy. He's such a good dog. Him and I, we've been on a lot of adventures together over the years. He will. Kiki, he will. You know? Just an old droopy old man. Yeah. He's such a good dog. But what are you guys up to today? Oh, your sketches are beautiful. Oh, you've got 2 now? That's incredible. Wow, thank you. I'm so glad you like my work. That means the world to me. Hopefully I'll add some more because I have mountains of sketches. Like, maybe I'll show you one of these times when I'm in my office, when I'm like live streaming in my office. Because seriously, folks, I have like a stack like that of artwork, but I only put sketches I build on the website because, I actually built them. I don't think anybody wants to see artwork that actually didn't get built. So soon, hopefully I'll be able to update it and add some more on there. Working the full-time job at the firehouse. Ooh, good. All right. Could you make a video of something 3D in Damascus? I said sure. Next time I do so, I used to make pendants out of Damascus, and I would sculpt. I would like sculpt something out of Damascus because it was cool. Then you could pull those layers all out. It was almost like made out of wood, but it was like thick Damascus that I was able to sculpt something out of. Like a little fish pendant or something like that. If someone was into like a Pisces, and or was it Gemini? I don't remember. A long time ago. But yeah, I could certainly. Oh, that's so sweet of you, Watson. I'll do my best. Maybe I'll have to start posting more of my artwork that I don't end up building. I've been playing around a little bit with like black paper and white colored pencil. I've been really enjoying that, almost like a negative. That's been cool. Pisces is the fish. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that. What steel works best for Damascus? Well, they need to be homogeneous, right? They need to be like enough, but dislike enough, usually in their carbon content, so that they pop away from each other. When you put in your etching, your etching liquid or your acid, whatever you're going to use to bring out those layers, they need to be contrast enough, but be similar enough to where they can bond well. Like you can make pretty much a Damascus like a Mukuna quarters because you already have dislike materials of nickel and copper, but they're close enough to where they're already homogeneous. I love having these talks with you guys. This is such a fun way for me to be able to bond with my community. This is great. Yeah, see, there we go. Ooh, Ryan, where do I get my creativity from? I don't know. I wish I could answer that. And honestly, I think it's just a state of mind, because, excuse me, it's been a long weekend. It's not creative all the time, and like you kind of can't. It's like a muscle. You got to let it rest to be able to build and grow. But it's almost like a state of openness, of kind of surrender. We're able to kind of let things affect you. Because I feel like the art of creativity is being vulnerable. It's a lot of vulnerability. And vulnerability is hard, especially if we all go through stuff. We always go through trials and tribulations. I don't care who you are. We all go through it. You could have had like, quote unquote, this perfect upbringing and all this stuff, very hallmark. You're going to go through some trials. And sometimes that can get knocked out of you. The being able to be vulnerable, it's a skill of letting yourself be affected. And a lot of my creativity comes from that. Is kind of open myself up, kind of like, opening myself up to the world, seeing shapes for what they are. And I think it's a bit of a skill, like anything, like some of us have a natural proclivity towards it, of course, but I feel like everyone's creative. We were having this conversation over tea time. I bring this up all the time in the creative workshop, the podcast, here on YouTube. It's a skill that needs work. And I know it doesn't feel like it is, but it is. And I would say slowly let things affect you. Okay, the best way I can describe this, you ever watch a certain movie or something like that and like, all right, think The Lion King, right? In like the moment where, Simba is really having trouble and he's in this like mode of self-discovery. And then all of a sudden, Mufasa, in the clouds, and you hear the theme, the symphony, all of a sudden play Mufasa's theme, and you get chills. And all of a sudden you just get these like waves of chills that run through your body. It's almost like that. It's almost like that. The creativity is like that kind of surrender of just letting yourself get washed over with these emotions and feelings. It's kind of like that. You get all this in these images, so trying to let yourself be open to those moments. It's like that, being creative. At least that's how it is for me. I know it's different for everybody, and it should be, because we would all make the same stuff, if not. How boring would that be? Could you imagine it? If we all make the same thing and we all function the same way. Boring. Barf. Snore factory, Everything you can imagine is real. Pablo Picasso. I love that. Yes. Yes. And embrace your own individuality. I'll throw another quote at you. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. There's some good quotes out there, guys. Also, another quote that I like to especially bring up with my students, when we were talking about the Hinge, the apprenticeship program through Patreon, is you get good at what you practice. And if that's cutting corners, if that's, cheating a little bit, you get good at what you practice. So think about what you're always doing, if you're trying to get into a creative mindset, if you're trying to get into a creative field, if you're trying to, utilize your creativity, been too long, hey, Mythic, buddy, that's amazing. Mythic, welcome, bud. Welcome back. Go. Anyways, my gosh, I'm gonna get totally sidetracked. But yeah, if you're good at cutting corners, maybe even keep maintaining a negative mindset. A negative mindset just crushes creativity. So be kind of a shepherd of yourself. Sharpen yourself in those kind of ways. I'm not here to preach at you, right? Just trying to give you my process. You can't have harmony if everyone is singing the same note. Rachel, that's, speaking of incredible quotes, my God, that's awesome. Oof. Let me touch base with this chat. Oh my gosh, that was awesome. People sometimes do not recognize creativity. Ooh, yeah, especially their own. You need creativity for everything. A great spreadsheet, yep. Creativity, a scientific experiment, creativity, a painting, that is as well. Yes. Yvonne, you got it. You're always on it. Everything requires creativity. Humans are creative. Like, you get out of bed, you're instantly creative thinking, okay, how the hell am I gonna get out of the house on time? How am I gonna, make coffee, get the kids up to go out to school? They need a backpack. I need to have lunch ready to go. Creative thinking, constantly creative thinking. We are creative creatures. So if you ever find yourself thinking you're not creative, just think of me, right? Just have me. Just imagine me as like a googly head doll, right? Or maybe a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man, telling you you're creative. Or maybe Uncle Sam, right? That great propaganda poster. I need you to be creative because you are, dang it. It drives me absolutely crazy when people tell me, like, oh, I wish I was creative. Oh, I wish I could do stuff. Give me that crap. Damn it. Don't give me that. Right, Catherine? Boom. We were talking about this over tea time. Catherine, cheers. And I will die on this hill, damn it. Oh my gosh. Della, you've been painting. First time in 3 years. Feels good to be back in it. Della, yes. Everyone needs a creative outlet. Everyone. I don't care what it is. Could be knitting scarves, needle potent sayings. Could be anything. Could be organizing your shoe drawer. I don't care what it is. Everyone needs a creative outlet. It was so funny. So I was at a baby shower yesterday. Actually, it was my sister-in-law. She's having a baby, a beautiful baby boy. I'm really excited. And so there I was. I'm having a mimosa. I'm around a bunch of gals, and we're chit-chatting. I love to, slap the gums, right? Love to talk. It's hard to get me to shut up. And what was cute is we have these little wooden blocks, and we got these cute, like, acrylic pens. And we're making these awesome acrylic blocks, and we're having a conversation with them. And they're like, why haven't I painted? I used to love to paint. And they were saying, I haven't painted in 10 years. And they were doing amazing work. They were blowing my mind. I'm over here farting around on wood, disgusting tree carcasses, gross. I'm a steel guy. And I'm over here doodling. They're making absolute works of art. And they were asking each other, why haven't we been painting? So I'm over here just like, trying not to say nothing because I'm over here about ready to blow my top off. It's like, why aren't you? And they're instantly making wine dates with each other. Yeah, we're gonna, pile all our kids together. We're gonna have mom time. We're gonna paint, and as they should. Oh, don't get me started. Patron saint of believing in yourself, Bradley, don't you dare. Don't put that pressure on me. I see my peers. I see you guys struggling with your creativity and all that, and for no reason. That drives me crazy because you're all got something good to share. You really do. And I feel like, as we're able to communicate over oceans, over continents, over governments with each other through this black box that we got, somehow it's brought us all together, but somehow we feel alone at the same time. It's the weirdest thing, especially since COVID. We all have a different relationship with COVID. The isolation that kind of came from that. So what a cool thing to be able to bring us together. And if you have friends online, get yourself and do a little art date like these moms I was chatting with yesterday. Pick each other up and we're such social creatures. We are such social creatures, and somehow there's this like lonesome epidemic. It's weird. And it shouldn't be. We have all the tools to bring us together and have little artist dates together. It's great. Kiki, you draw and make things for a living. You're only 16. Wow. Don't see half the things I do. Yeah. No one ever, when it comes to being an artist or any type of creative, people see, it's like an iceberg. They maybe see, if you're lucky, they see 5% of what you do. And that's okay. Because no one needs to see everything. No one needs to see the journey. You know, that's kind of personal. That's for you. The rest of that iceberg, that's for you. You know? Even, and maybe you get to share it with someone very close to you. Might be a loved one, might be family, who knows? Could just be a really close friend, which I consider a loved one. I'm kind of lovey-dovey like that. Sue me, you know? But yeah. And you know, it's kind of nice to have that interior, that little interior, that secret place that's only reserved for a chosen few. Not everyone needs to see all that. Oh, hey, thanks for making me smile. Are you kidding? My face hurts. I'm getting a cheek workout. Not that I need to get any bigger. I don't know. I got cheeks. I got cheeks for days. Oh yeah, but I definitely got my cheek workout. I'm getting sore over here. My goodness. Your work inspires me to be creative again. Della, that's amazing. I appreciate it. Yes. And I'm starting to realize maybe that's something that I lean harder into, you know? Because there's creativity in everything. Like after this, you know what? I might mow the property, and then I might jump into the Patreon Minecraft world. And who knows, maybe I'll start streaming in that. Because I feel like people need it. And it's so funny because when I started doing this whole online business, you know, not that it's even a business, right? Like, you know, full disclosure, not making hardly a dime on it. This is for us. Speaking of that little mushy interior that I get to kind of share with a chosen few. But I had a hard time being on screen. Still do. But it's when, like I've told this story a few times. This is probably a review for a lot of you. But it's when I started getting DMs and like stuff like this, you know, where it's like, dang it, I needed this today. Thank you so much. This made me smile. I'm going to go be excellent in my life. I started to realize this has nothing to do with me. This is about you guys, man. This is about inspiring you guys to be creative. And, you know, and maybe just being a slightly better version of yourself. I love it because it brings that out in me. You guys are doing it to me, you know? So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I'm really grateful for y'all to be here. Be able to share this moment with you all. Oh, you're creative, but you're always a guest in other people's houses. So I make watercolor paintings, places to gift when I leave. AJ, that's so cool. And it was so amazing meeting you, by the way. And your work is incredible. And how neat to be able to like leave a place better than when you arrived. What a cool goal to have. And that doesn't matter what you're doing in life. Just leave it better than, you know, the way you found it. That's cool. One day I would love a piece of your craft work. Oh, I mean, absolutely. I'm actually thinking, all right, I haven't told anybody about this, so don't go telling anybody. But you remember the iron oak? Remember those leaves that I hand formed and all that stuff out of copper? Well, I might do, you know, as we're coming into the holidays, I might do another, like a big batch of them to sell like really reasonably to you guys, just to kind of cover my costs and sell them on the merch site. So I would love to be able to offer those because, yeah, like an ornament. They could be anything. They could hang from your rearview mirror in your car. They could be an ornament, whatever you want them to be. But I would love to be able to offer that to you guys. You know, the bottle openers sold like crazy. Those were great. But I would love to use something even more cost effective for you guys, because not everyone has a spare $50 just lying around. You know, it could be hard times. You know, and I'm just trying to cover my costs. I'm not looking to make a buck. That's not up to you guys. That's not your responsibility. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. But keep it a secret, because I can only make so many and I don't want them. Well, hopefully they sell out super quick. I just want to make sure they're available to as many people as possible. So we'll see how it goes. I feel new to everything every time I do it. I wanted one of those oak leaves. Okay, all right. Yeah, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. Of course, post a video when they're up. Hello, and you're new here. Welcome, my friend. Been binge watching your videos. Oh, I admire your passion. Hey, that means the world to me. And you are you're a vet tech. What an amazing career. I could never. Like, just whenever my dogs or a cat are like under the weather in any way, oh my gosh, I don't know how you guys have the emotional fortitude to be able to do that. Like, you guys are amazing. I admire that trade so much. How incredible. Any Halloween projects asked by the member? Rage? Maybe. Maybe a little something spooky. I've been thinking about it because I'm a spooky guy. You know, how we're coming into my favorite season, when the wind begins to bluster and the cool air begins to blow and the leaves begin to turn. I'm so excited. I got the pumpkin patch not doing great out there. I need to do some soil amendment. I'm a bit of a farmer, but I'm not a great one. I'm learning, always learning, as we should be, right? You know, if you're not struggling with something, you're not learning. You could always be learning. Anyways, side note. But yeah, I might do another like little limited release, do something spooky, maybe do some black cat, some jack-o'-lantern stuff. I don't know yet. But yeah, hell yeah. God, now my face really hurts. I can't take it much longer. I remember the proposal you made in the garden. Yeah, that's where I asked my wife to marry me. It was over some Edgar Allan Poe. And like at midnight, under the full moon, in the pumpkin patch, with spooky lighting, fog machine. It's just too much. Do I ever grow giant pumpkins? I'm having a hard time just growing pumpkins, period. Like the first couple years, it was prolific. We're talking giant leaves like this big and beautiful, beautiful pumpkins. But what I need to do is I've been monocropping really hard. So I think I gotta grow some beans out there next season to get some, nitrogen back out there. I don't know, I gotta do something. Maybe do some compost, till it up. We'll see. Such a romantic, I know. Hopeless. Just hopeless. You know what, CT? Because of you guys, I am having a wonderful day. And I hope you're having a wonderful day too. Cheers, everyone, to having a wonderful day. He's great. He's dark. And he understands madness. And I feel like there's a bit of a stigma behind madness. You know? I call it maybe a little bit of hyperfixation. Maybe a little bit of darkness. You can't have dark without the light. Yeah, cheers, everyone. Oh yeah, I'm very excited. And when he's one of those creators, Edgar, Mr. Poe, that paints a good picture. He's a good storyteller. I'm starting to realize my entire life, some of my favorite things in the entire world were stories. I had an uncle. Like an uncle-in-law. He had this great voice, big, deep, ringing voice. I mean, I have. He moved out of the area. and you'd tell these great ghost stories, and you'd like that one of those like radio voices, right? And you'd flick the lights and stuff, and you'd have us on the edge of our seats crying our eyes out, scare the crap out of all of us. But I was just on pins and needles, on the edge of my seat. And there's just something about storytelling. And when working with Don Marshall and the gang with the Unpredicted Party and where that might end up, I'm excited to bring storytelling back in my own ability, right? Whatever I can do. Mad scientist in a good kind of madness, rage 100%. Yes, because it's passion. And passion is infectious. It's impossible not to be swept up like a current from passion. And it's a good way to share passion is by telling a story. To present your passion to others. And there's a bit of magnetism when it comes to that. Anyways. But when it comes to storytelling, I don't know, I think I'm getting pressured, by my loved ones, by my patrons and in community about doing some streaming. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but maybe playing some cozy games, getting creative, creating like little stories and walking you guys through it together, getting your guys' suggestions and creating them. I might start doing that in my office. I don't know. Not everything has to be blacksmithing. Creativity looks many different ways. So who knows? Maybe I'll cast that line out and just see what we catch, see what we can do together. You have that magnetism. Okay. You quit that rage. Quit that. I'm sure we all do. You might guess all want to create and forge whatever. Oh God, rage, you're too kind. My dad used to tell stories after dinner. When I was young, it was the best. That sounds absolutely magical. How cool is that? I feel like storytelling, in the age of, how could we possibly tell stories better than like watching on the TV, like Game of Thrones or, I don't know, like Fargo and The Sopranos, like how could we possibly compete with that? But I feel like we can. Spoken word storytelling will always have a place. So I want to get that back. It's a cool art form. Do you guys remember, what's his name? He was in Harry Potter. He was an alien, the first one. Not Gary Oldman. Oh gosh, I can't remember, but he was in that show, I think it was in the 80s or early 90s, The Storyteller. And I remember that show. Like in PE, we would sometimes watch that in the rolly cart with the TV on it. We would watch that on a rainy day in PE. The best. Nothing's better than a good story. Moved to the family farm, got a job in a machine shop, and started saving up parts. I find to build my own forge. Tom, that's awesome. After seeing the start of the Holodoors and the Iron Tree, Tom, that's amazing. Dude, if you ever need help, I have an apprenticeship program. If you ever want any lessons, dude, hit me up. It's in the Patreon. Scott's theme. That style of TV, yes. We need to bring that back, and I hope. So for season 2 and like in the journey, what's coming next for the Unpredicted Party, where I play Beery, the lovable dwarf. We've been having creative meetings, and I'm not gonna spill any beans. I'm not gonna go spilling the tea. Don't you worry. But we've been talking about what's next for us, and I really want to get back into that, like at least from my angle, trying to pitch that golden age of radio, where the cart, you would hear, they would paint the picture. It was raining on the cobblestone streets, and you'd hear the clopping of of hooves on the wet cobblestones. You'd hear the rain, and someone would have the big sheet of steel and do the thunder in the backdrop, and you would hear like somebody the door creak open. It was like D&D, but for the theater of the mind, and they would tell a story that way with amazing professional voice actors. And there would be a tree against the against the metal shop. It's just it invigorates the imagination in so many different multi-sensory ways. And I'd love to get back to that a little bit with improv and hilarious outcomes. It's gonna be great. Oh, yes. I love reading the chat. Oh my gosh, I got to catch up. You started watching The Unpredicted Party. I'm liking it so far. I'm a huge fan of D&D and Lord of the Rings. Just, it gets better. It gets better. The beginning is rough. Get past episode 20. It gets better, I promise. We were like taking it too seriously. We were like all scared and nervous. It gets better, I promise. Mainly speaking for myself. But I'm really excited for the future in all of our endeavors together. From starting streaming a little bit, maybe on Twitch. I don't know. Do I look like I know what the hell I'm doing? I'm just a quirky blacksmith in the country somewhere. So, but I owe it all to you guys. This community means the absolute world to me. And I'm deeply honored to just have you here, and if you're watching this recording later on, I hope you're watching the live chat, But I so appreciate you all. It's the best. I love you all, And of course, don't forget to love each other. Cheers, everyone. Happy freaking Sunday. Make yourself a nice little cup of tea, kick your feet up and relax for a second. Take a break before this next week starts back up and we do this all over again, baby. Well, everybody, have a tremendous day. Be good to each other. Do something kind for someone. All great ideas, or just reserve your energy for yourself. Whatever works for you guys. Okay, be excellent. Happy Sunday. Bye-bye.